25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is in the studio from Damage Control. He'll answer your questions about the damage to your home, whether it's major, minor, or maybe even if you're doing it yourself. That phone number to call right now is the WOCA Climate Control Source hotline, which is 622-WOCA. How are you, Joe?
I am wonderful today.
Good. You had a question come in. Let me pull it up here.
I like questions.
It was sent in, and here it is.
Ready.
My house is not damaged in the catastrophic sense of the word, but as we did an inspection to prepare for the sale of our home, we found small areas of damage that need to be fixed, and many of them. Can you help us with this? So, what? I mean, it's not specific there, but
yes, there's a lot of
I think I understand what
gray area
this person
there.
is saying.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: in almost any home, if you were to take an in-depth look at it, for example, I was looking at a home last night, and it has a wood siding. And as you look at the wood siding around the home and even where the door jambs are, there's some wood rot. Nothing major, just small areas that
you never noticed before.
That you don't notice or most homeowners don't even pay attention to. And then whenever you do look at selling a home or even buying a home, these are things that
all of a sudden you see them.
Yeah, that you're looking for. I mean, even your roof. I mean, a quick glance at your shingles and everything looks fine. You get up there and you really start looking, and you might find where the nails are backing up through, or sometimes even shingles. The tabs of the shingles are missing, or something like that. So, there's always areas that when you're looking at it, a home especially, you can find things that need prepared or checked on. One of them, for example, we're working on a home, very nice home out in west of Ocala, and they're redoing the whole kitchen. So we tore out the cabinets. Behind the sink on the wall is a lot of mold.
That they did not know
in
was
the drywall.
there.
Didn't even know it was there.
Wow.
And this is not uncommon because the sink, around the sink, it was where the sink sets into the cabinet, had had water was getting in there. Okay, so every time they're doing dishes or there's water on the counter, it's getting in there, and it's just creating a damp environment. A lot of times homeowners don't realize, backsplash, where your kitchen countertop goes to your backsplash. If that caulking is loose or non-existent or just with time, every time your countertop gets wet, water is getting down in there. Not a major problem. However, over time, this will cause issues. Not something, like I said, not something major, but, you tear those cabinets out and you're going to have mold behind there. So, and this is you wouldn't even notice it or think about it.
Right. But in the event that you are suddenly faced with, oh my God, there's a little bit of rot at the bottom of the wood, there's a little bit of damage to this that we didn't know about, or this is broken, and suddenly you're faced with a lot of little things. Oh yeah. Which is I went to copy and paste that just so I can apologize a little bit, and it didn't copy and paste the whole thing for some reason. Well, so that's why I had to kind of ad-lib the ending there, because I knew what she said.
There's a lot of times, even in as homeowners are getting renewals for their insurance, they oftentimes, insurance companies will require an inspection.
Oh, okay.
And, for example, they'll go out and they'll look at it and they'll say, well, in order to get, another insurance, you need to get a new roof on, or you need to fix this. We've got one right now from, it's an Allstate client, a referral from Ordway Insurance, and they are going to, they're going to need to do some cleanup. There's an old deck that they need removed, and so we're going out there to to look at doing that work for them. So,
okay.
you know, whether it's an insurance renewal or you know, just regular maintenance, you know, there's a lot of projects, just like anything else. A home needs constant TLC.
So somebody were to call you, let's say, and had 12 spots in the house that needed to be fixed. I'll just pick a number at random. And
12 is a good random number.
And obviously, I'm being vague because I don't have a real circumstance I'm describing. I'm just
Right.
making one up. But let's say you go to the house, the person shows you the 12 places. You've got to come up with a dollar amount, how much that's going to cost.
Typically, we'll figure how much it'll take time-wise.
Okay. But I mean, does that dollar amount dictate whether they just pay it out of pocket or go to their insurance company?
Well, if it's maintenance on a home, it's not necessarily going to be covered by your
Okay.
insurance.
Okay.
If it's something that's routine maintenance, and that's where, you know, for example, one client that we've got right now, and we're working with them and starting their project. They have a tile shower, and tile is a great product. Lots of people use it, but over time, tile in a shower, the grout tends to allow moisture to get through the
really?
walls, and you know, you get little cracks in there. If you're looking at a tile shower and you have cracks in the corners or at the bottom of the basin,
Right.
if there's cracks there, moisture is getting into the walls. If moisture is getting into the walls, you're going to end up over time needing to replace that. So it's just like
Makes
anything
sense,
else.
yeah.
You know, so if you're looking at your tile showers and there's cracks in the corners or along where the bottom is and the wall, where they meet, the floor and the wall meet, that needs to be taken care of. You need to put a silicone of some sort in there, let it dry, put
Yeah,
a fan
yeah.
in there, and then silicone those areas. Don't use caulking, use silicone. And that will buy you some more time. However, if you let that go, water continues to get in there, the materials behind the tiles getting wet, and before long, when you push on that wall, you'll be able to feel it
Oh,
give way.
That's not good.
Because the water gets behind there,
Yeah.
and it doesn't dry. It never there's no way for that to dry, so it just continues to get wet. We're working with a homeowner that this is the instance. You know, this is the exact case that's happened. There's cracks in the grout. Water's getting in there. It's been happening for years. So now, you know, they touch the tile in the shower and the tile's falling off the wall. We're going in there, you know, and it's you know, got some mold issues with that because that water's trapped and mold's growing. So we're going in there. We're going to completely remove the tile, you know, all down to the bare walls.
Right.
Treat it for mold, you know, in order to clean it all up, and then do a whole rebuild on this. You know, put it all back together. So, you know, it's not something, unless we get in there. We haven't tore it apart yet. Unless we get in there and find that the plumbing somewhere is leaking, it's not going to be covered by insurance because it's a maintenance.
You know what you just made me realize, too, that if somebody, like the lady who wrote you the letter, were to find a little damage in the shower, behind that little damage, there might be a lot more waiting to be discovered.
Could be.
If you're an ethical home buyer, you're going to want to have that repaired before you actually tell somebody this is a good, you know, a good home. You know, you're going to want to make sure everything is fixed.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, last week you had Sean Scott on, and I wanted to ask something.
Owner of Mike Scott Plumbing.
Yes, and he brought up the fact that bleach is sometimes really bad for septic tanks.
Yes.
Would bleach also be part of the problem with the grout in the tile? I mean, could it deteriorate the?
You know, there's a lot of chemicals in you know, for example, shower cleaners.
Yeah.
You know, and that's to get rid of the soap scum and whatnot. But you know, you're not using it a lot, and most of them are safe for the grout. It's just it's a constant maintenance, and you know, we live in you know, there's constant. Your home is constantly moving. whether it's settling or expanding and shrinking with heat and cool weather.
Yeah.
Everything has movement to it. Just like concrete outside, your joints in concrete will get wider and then they come back together at different times. Your house does the exact same thing. So as that's moving, that's when you have can have damage.
Okay, so it's not
tiles
just that kind of. Oh, so there's a few reasons why the tiles might be falling apart.
There's
wow.
And that's why it's always good to have those joints siliconed versus just caulked or just grouted. I mean,
we have to take a commercial break. We've got a weather and a few commercials. Today is election day.
It is.
So don't forget to vote, and our obligation is to make sure that all these political ads get played.
There you go.
So we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Watch for rough surf and rip currents along the coast through Wednesday. Partly sunny and breezy today, a shower in spots near the coast, high 88 to 91. Partly cloudy tonight with a brief shower or two along the coast, low 69 to 76. Partly sunny tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm, high 88 to 92. Thursday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 90 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Steve Travis.
The hottest CD deal this summer is with Florida Credit Union. Our summer CD special includes a short 25-month term combined with 1.51% APY. Take advantage of this high-yield CD special. Offer good through Saturday, August 30th, 2014. In DeLand, call 386-738-4717. In Ocala, call 352-237-8222. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA. Offer subject to change at any time. $10,000 minimum.
Leadership, experience, and proven results matter.
Re-elect Angie Boynton to the Marion County School Board District 4. I have put forth solutions to raise funds for our schools through other avenues. I advocate for the use of juvenile civil citations in lieu of arrest for first-time offenders of some student code of conduct policies. I support the positive alternative to out-of-school suspension. Teachers have the union, but students, parents, and the community need a voice. I will be that voice for you. Remember, vote Angie Boynton for the Marion County School Board District 4.
Paid political advertisement by the Angie Boynton campaign.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
All right, 10 minutes now, actually 11 minutes before 11 o'clock. And Joe Reichel is here, and your questions are an important part of this show. We learn from listening to your questions and Joe's answers. And if you have a do-it-yourself home repair question or maybe something bigger than do-it-yourself, Joe can help you either way.
Sure can.
You know what? One thing would stand in my way? Embarrassment. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to call somebody over here. This is embarrassing. I haven't taken care of it, and I should have.
As far as a home project, you mean like that?
If you have something, I mean, fire is different, a tree falling down is different, but the kind of things we're talking about now, things that probably could have been prevented with maintenance.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, too. We're oftentimes busy in our lives, and, you know, the last thing we want to do after being at work all day long is a home improvement project. You know, some people have that, and they love that. That's their release, their stress release, their fun time,
their hobby.
Yeah, a hobby, and and they enjoy it. for me, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to go home and have to do a project. Not after doing it all day long or being around
it's
it.
like the mechanic with the car that needs to be worked on.
Right. So, one of the homeowners that we're working with on a project, one that I'm thinking about, the gutters have pulled away from the house, and so water, instead of going down the roof and into the gutter, is going behind the gutter and has caused rotten wood, an issue with rotten wood. They live in one of the retirement communities. They're not able to fix this, and they didn't even know it was happening until all of a sudden, the neighbor happened to notice that the gutter was pulled away and said, "Hey, you have an issue here." So not all the time, people. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is either you don't have an interest in doing it, you don't have the knowledge to do it,
right,
or the skill set, or the ability,
or all of the above,
or the physical ability.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. You've got 90-degree weather out there, and it isn't the most conducive circumstances to get out there and do some physical work on the weekend or whenever you can. So.
But I guess I was hoping I was speaking for somebody else when I said that, because if that person needs some repairs and they've got it, I mean, they just want somebody to come help, but I'll try to do it myself first. And
that's where a lot of times, different things, if you, maintenance is one of those things. If you maintain your property just like your car, every 3 months you get the oil change or 3,000 miles, you're not going to have the bigger issues. If you start seeing some rotten wood, it's a lot easier to fix it now than to let it go. And, then next thing you know, you've got a large area that needs repaired, or you've got, water coming in the house now or something like that.
Years and years ago, and knock on granted, it doesn't happen again, but I had a leak I did not know about, and it was coming from the water heater.
Right.
The water heater was in like a closet, and it was out of sight. Could not tell that it was leaking. The wooden floor under it was getting wet.
Yep.
And one day I heard like a thump in the closet, just a little, like something like a box fell. And I went in there and I said, "What the heck? What happened?" And then finally I saw what it was. The water heater was shorter because it fell through. And I was in I had a wooden floor, and there was maybe, I don't know, 16 inches or so between the floor and the ground, and it fell to the ground.
Wow.
Fell right through the floor. Yeah.
So there was probably an extensive area that was damaged that you didn't even know about.
And this was a rental, so in my case, I just had to call and say, "Hey."
The water heater's outside.
The water heater got shorter. Yeah.
We've got a home that a client that we were working with, and we got a call from the plumber, and same exact, referral from a plumbing company in the same exact type situation. It was a mobile home, and they, didn't even know it was in a closet. Next thing you know, the water, it didn't fall completely through, but, he opens up the closet, which he never went into, and, he sees that there's a lot of damage in there just because of a slow leak.
Yeah, and I don't know that, is there any maintenance that could have been done with a water heater? Do we even look at that? And as long as the water is hot, we don't even think to look at it.
Typically, we don't look at it, and that's one thing Sean was talking about last week as far as life expectancies of these things.
Yeah.
They could they can last a long time, or
not,
or not. And
but they don't last forever, no matter what.
No, they sure don't. So
wow,
just like a lot of times
we're making people nervous now,
Well, and that's where it's a good thing to check your house, walk around your house, check things over, make sure that your home is in good repair. One of the things that is something that always you should always keep an eye on are your gutters. Your gutters are one of those things that once the leaves are, especially a lot of overhanging trees, leaves back up, and plug your gutters, and then water is able to go up under your shingles and cause a rotten wood. Check around your your door jambs, and especially like your garage door openings, because the rain is splashing at the garage door and splashing up on the wall or on the jambs, your garage door jam,
Right.
and that's a common area where there's rotten wood.
Yeah.
Even around any exterior porches and those doors, if the elevation of the ground, for example, like behind your shrubs and flower gardens, things like that, along the house, if the ground level, the dirt, is close to, if you have a wood house, if it's almost to level with the wood, you'll want to remove some of that dirt, because that is an area where you can get rot because of the wood getting wet. Just some water splashing, or
Right.
Sudden rains, water backs up. It's also a great area for termites to get in. So keep that vegetation back so it can get dried out and not create a rotten wood area.
You mentioned termites, and I've shared with you my...
Termites are nasty little beasts.
And I've had a summer of roaches. I mean, I've been battling these things all summer long.
They're different than termites,
I know.
Okay.
I know. But I think, they cause their own amount of damage, by the way.
Any type of insect, whether it's roaches, ants, a lot of, carpenter ants, if you have an area that's getting wet, or even trees overhanging. That's something we didn't talk about. If you have trees overhanging your house or they're close to your shingles, that's an area where ants can get in and things like that. So you want to keep your trees, cut back. But carpenter ants get in where there's wet wood, and they'll cause a serious amount of damage. Same with termites.
And we're almost to the end, but you have a phone call. Let's take that call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, hi, good morning. Big fan of the station. I love WOCA. Quick question for the gentleman. I had my house painted inside, a couple of years, well, not a couple of years, about a year ago. And then about 2 weeks later, the molding in the bathroom started to peel. And I called the painter back, and he said, that the builder had painted with an oil base, and they used a water base. Nothing else peeled. So my question is, should I just scrape it down, remove the molding? I don't know what else to do with it. It looks terrible. Everything else looks fine.
Well, my first reaction would be to call the painter and tell him he needs to repaint it. And that is exactly...
He's not going to do that. I tried that. They're not coming back. And frankly, I don't want them back.
Well, and I feel sorry for you that you've hired somebody that wouldn't stand behind their work, and that is a common problem. People will use, I see it all the time as far as, especially on trim paint like that. Wood is designed to be painted with an oil-based, especially trim. Wood trim is designed to be painted with an oil-based paint. You can use water-based paint, but whenever you go over it, like he did with a water-based paint, something that was painted with oil-based, you will have it. It will peel, just because it's not adhering correctly. What you'd have to do is prime it. So it needs to be sanded.
It and then prime it, or
yeah, it needs to be sanded down and then primed and painted again.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and love the show.
Thank you. That was a great question. I appreciate you calling.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, everybody at the station. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
That was sweet. Joe, what's your phone number?
My phone number is 352-817-6574, or you can reach me on my email, joe@damageflorida.com.
All right. It was a good show.
It was good.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio on the